So very good morning to one and all. Amma. So am I audible to you?
Sir,
Okay, right, fine. So once again, very good morning to one and all. So in the last class, we already started one problem regarding of your Spargate drives. So I hope you understand that problem, and I hope you practice that problem. And so in this class, we try to discuss some more problems regarding that particular Spargate drives, so that you are having an idea regarding that particular problem, so that you can able to solve as many number of problems once if you get practice. Okay, fine. So you please observe this particular problem. So as you are observing on your screen, so please don't get think that as we are discussing the what we call solve problems, so especially in case of design of machine elements, each and every problem is very much similar that you were compare that of your previous problems. I mean, whatever the textbooks you are having, these are the only methods you are having. Right? There are no other methods. There are no other difficult problems. Also, there are no other models. Also, you are having. Right? As you are having only one standard procedure for solving problems, solving technique. Only one procedure. Only given data will vary. So whatever the textbook you can, if you want to practice, you can practice. But definitely will observe that there is a change in only data, but the remaining procedure is same, very much same, right? So please try to understand and please try to observe those differences. Okay, anyway. So please try to observe the following problem. A pair of straight teeth spurgate is to transmit 20 kilowatts. When the pinion rotates at 300 RPM, the velocity ratio is 1:3. The allowable static stress for the pinion and gear materials are 120 megapa. So I hope this problem is over, Amma. I think this problem is over. I don't know whether it is over or not. Pitch cycle diameters, okay. The tooth factor, why can be taken as? No, okay, very good. If at all not covered, no problem, right. So a pair of straight spurgate is to transmit 20 kilowatts when the pinion rotates at 300 RPM. The velocity ratio is 1:3, right? In the last problem, it is 1:4. I hope it is 1:3 now. Okay. The allowable static stress for the pinion and gear materials are 120 megapascal and 100 megapascal respectively. The pinion has 15 teeth and its face width is 14 times module. Determine module, face width, pitch circle diameter of both pinion and gear. Please observe that pitch circle diameters of both pinion and gear from the standard point of strength only. Right. Taking into consideration the effect of the dynamic loading. The tooth form factor Y can be taken as Y value equal to 0.154 minus 0.912 by number of teeth. And also the velocity factor CV equal to 3/3 plus V, where V is expressed as in terms of meter per second. Right. So you please observe that this particular problem. Now please find this particular problem. So it is very much similar that of your previous problem. As I already told you that, please be listen carefully and please pay attention. Once if you, that means whenever you try to solve a problem regarding of your particular gate drive, I already mentioned some important steps. I already mentioned some important steps. Again, I am repeating those steps. These are the standard points, right? The first and foremost thing is first you try to observe the what kind of a gate drive it is. So here it is, you are having only two types of gate drives, only Spargate and helical gears. So no need to worry. If it is the helical gear, you are having a pressure angle. So directly you can differentiate. Directly you can differentiate whether what type of a gear it is, whether it is a Spargate or helical gear. So I hope you understand, Amma, we are having only two gears, Spargate and helical gear. So among the two gears, a helical gear is having a pressure angle. Whenever we are having a pressure angle term, whenever a pressure angle term is appeared on your what we call given data, automatically you please select that it is a what we call helical gear. If not, directly you can go for a Spargate. If not, you can directly go for a Spargate. So Spargate and helical gear, both gears. Fine, very good. Now, so in this case, now we are dealing with only Spargate. So blindly you can follow that it is Spargate. right? As you're not observing any pressure angles. So first of all, it is a spur gate, right? Fine. Next, second point is you try to observe that whether it is made with same material or different material. Second point, a very important point, whether you have to made with same material or different material. That is the second point. Okay, fine. Next, after that, you please find that you find the relations with respect to the weakest part. The weakest part may be pinion or gear. It depends upon your calculation. Then based on that weakest part only, you're supposed to calculate your remaining parameters. While you're calculating the remaining parameters, first you have to know the number of teeth value. Then second one is module value, estimation of module value. Second one is the module value. And third one is different parameters. Whatever they are asked in your given data, then directly you can calculate the different parameters of your gate drive. Normally, the parameters are pitch circle diameter of the pinion, diameter of the gear, module, phase width, center distances, addendum, dedendum. These are the only basic parameters we are having. Depending upon your problem, you can select the required parameters you can calculate. After that only you can go for the basic equation, basic strength equation, Lewis equation. Here they are asked for standard point of strength. Standard point of strength is nothing but your Lewis equation. Second one is your dynamic loading. Third one is your wear loading. Right? So these are the only steps you are having for any gate drive. For any gate, normally any gate drive, these are the only procedures. For spur gate, especially, this is the standard procedures you are having. Now you please observe the points what we discussed in the class one by one. Right? First point. First thing is whether it is a spur gear or helical gear. So blindly we are discussing about spur gear only, so that your answer is defaultly it is a spur gear. So first point is over. The first point is over as it is a spur gear. Okay, right, fine. Next, second point. Now the very important step is now you have to deal with whether it is a same material for pinion and gear or different material for pinion and gear. That is important point here. Second important point is whether the pinion and gear are made with the same material or different material. You please respond by reading of your given data. You please respond, Amma. So please respond, Amma. So only one person is responded. Only one person is responded. See whether it's same material or different material is a simple question. If you are not aware of that particular question, definitely you cannot solve the problem. You cannot proceed further because the statement is very important. So that is the reason why I'm asking. So different material, only same persons are repeatedly responding. That means previous class also the same persons. My meaning is only these persons are responded to my questions. What about the remaining persons? So remaining persons should also respond according to my question. Otherwise, there is no use of discussing of these questions. Only those people, only 3 or 4 people or 5 people. So please respond that. So some of you are responded, it is a different material. Why is it different? Why it is a different material? Is there any statement that is mentioned regarding the different material? That is also you have to understand. In this case, Amma, allowable static stress, 2 allowable static stress values are mentioned. 2 allowable static stress values are mentioned. You please observe in your given data. 2 allowable static stress values are mentioned. That means indirectly they say that we are having 2 different materials. right? So that here you are having two different materials, right? Now pinion and gear are made with the two different materials. Whenever you are having a two different materials, what you supposed to do? What you supposed to do? So these are the simple things, simple information that are required for calculating, especially formulas are nothing. All the formulas are available in your given data. There is no worries. But understanding the concept is very, very important. So whenever you are having a two different materials for pinion and gear, what you supposed to do in order to estimate the weakest part? What you supposed to do in order to estimate the weakest part? So how do you say that whether it is the weakest part for pinion or gear? How do you calculate? How do you say whether pinion is weak or gear is weak? Please respond that. So only one person is responded. So frequently the same person is responding for my questions. So I hope only 35 is the only person is in the class out of 110 registered persons. So then definitely I will provide attendance for only that 100, I mean, only these three persons, number 35 or 47 or sometimes 25, 26, right? Only I provide attendance for only these persons. Why? Because means remaining persons are not responded. That means they are not in a position to listening. Okay, fine. So I will provide the attendance and only for only those four people. Fine. Okay. So you are having what we call your pinion and gear are made with different material, and so the product of static stress and y value sigma naught into y. The product of sigma naught into y. Sigma naught means sigma naught for pinion and sigma naught for gear, and y means y for pinion and y for gear. That means the product of sigma naught and y. The product of sigma naught and y value will give the result of your the weakest part for pinion and gear. Now you calculate, you please calculate which one is the weakest part. Now you please calculate which one is the weakest part. Calculate sigma naught value, sigma naught into sigma naught P into YP for pinion. For gear, sigma naught G into YG. Okay? Sigma naught P into YP for pinion and sigma naught G into YG for gear. Calculate the product of those two values and get the value which one is the weakest one. And post your answers on your chat box. So whatever the procedure that is mentioned in your textbook, you please ignore. You please follow my instruction as easily. Both textbook answer is also correct, but this is a standard procedure you have to follow. So this is the standard procedure you have to follow. Everyone, please post your answer on your chat box. Calculate the value of product of sigma for gear and pinion. For gear, sigma naught into G plus Y into YG. For pinion, sigma naught into P into YP. Calculate those two values and check which one is the weakest one, gear or pinion. Respond fastly and post your answer on your chat box. And those chat boxes are definitely a countable chat box, and you will visualize your chat box answers also after having of your this session. So I will calculate how many of you have responded according to my question. So there is no use if I am reading out the procedure one by one. If at all, if I responded, then only your doubts will get clarified. Otherwise, the same problems are repeated. There is no use of discussing more problems here. As we are having 7 problems in the textbook, so that I try to discuss 4 or 5 problems. If you are not responded, those 2 problems are sufficient. Then we will move on to the next topic directly. Calculate your answer and post on your chat box your answer. See, is there any unknown parameter? You please respond. Then you can get clarified your doubt. Don't be silent. Please post your question on your chat box so that your doubt will get clarified at this stage, because it's a 14 marks question, but don't take it as leniously. So it is a 14 marks question. So that is the reason why I explain step-by-step procedure. First one is type of gear. Second one is you try to estimate the weakest part based on your given data. After that only you can proceed your problem further. So which one is the weakest part, Amma? Which one is your weakest part? Pinion. Someone is saying pinion is the weakest part. Pinion. Okay, fine. So let me check. So someone is on your mic, Amma. So please put off your mic. Right. So here, right, pinion is the biggest part, Amma. For gear, your answer is 13.7, and for pinion 11.184. So 11.4 for pinion, and for gear 13. You have to write a statement. Right. You have to write a statement. So both for pin here, both pinion and gear are made with the different material. After calculating the product of sigma naught into y, pinion is the weakest part. This statement. So pinion is the weakest part. So this statement you have to be mentioned. This statement you have to be mentioned. Right? Right. This statement you have to mention. Weakest part statement gets marks, Amma. So that is the reason why I'm keep on stressing. So if you fail to identify the weakest part, definitely your even though the examiner will not look further proceedings. Why? Because means at the earlier stage only you fail to choose your weakest part, so that he will not observe, even though if you calculate correctly. So that is the basic point, Amma. So that is the reason why I keep on stressing that. So please identify the weakest part. Here the weakest part is pinion. Okay, fine. Pinion is the weakest part. Second part is over. Fine. Very good. Now, so what is your next point? Next point is you are having calculate module value. Right? So you are able to calculate, you are supposed to calculate module value. So how do you calculate module value? That is another important point you have to observe. Right? The first step is identifying the gear drive. For gear, helical gear drive is over. Second point is weakest part. Which one is the weakest part? You are supposed to calculate weakest part. Now third one is number of teeth on pinion and number of teeth on gear. So that is the third point, number of teeth on pinion and number of teeth on gear. Now you try to observe that is there any number of teeth value specified, whether it is a gear or pinion. You please observe in your given data. You please observe in your given data whether number of teeth on pinion or number of teeth on gear. In between these two things, if any one number of teeth value specified, then you are able to calculate remaining teeth value. I hope you understand, Amma. Suppose in the given data, if at all the number of teeth on gear is given, then based on those values, you can be able to calculate number of teeth on pinion. So if at all number of teeth on pinion is given, Based on the data, you can calculate number of teeth on gate. So you please observe in your given data, is there any value is given? Right. Number of teeth on pinion value is mentioned. TP value, number of teeth on pinion. Number of teeth on pinion, TP value is mentioned. Number of teeth on pinion is mentioned. Now calculate number of teeth on gear. Calculate number of teeth on gear. How do you calculate number of teeth on gear? Based on velocity ratio, fine. Based on velocity ratio, very good. Based on velocity ratio, you can calculate number of teeth on gear. Now, is there any velocity ratio value is mentioned? You please check in your given data. Is there any velocity ratio value is mentioned? If at all, if it is mentioned, then we can calculate. So velocity ratio is 1:3. Fine, very good. So velocity ratio is 1:3. Okay. Now you are having a relation velocity ratio equal to Tg by Tp. That is the formula you are having. Velocity ratio equal to Tg by Tp. Right? Now calculate Tg value. Velocity ratio equal to Tg by Tp. Tg means number of teeth on gear and Tp is number of teeth on pinion. Right. So number of teeth on gear is calculated. Now calculate number of teeth on gear. Right. So your velocity ratio is 3 and number of teeth on pinion is 14 or 15. So 15 threes are obviously. So 45. Right, fine. Okay, very good. So number of teeth on pinion is over and number of teeth on gear is also over. Very good, fine. Right. So next, after finding out number of teeth on pinion and number of teeth on gear, after finding out the number of teeth on pinion and the number of teeth on gear, so what is your next move? Next move means module value. So how do you calculate module value? That is another important question you are having. Calculation of module value. Please find the different relations. You please observe different relations. Then you can able to calculate easily. Right. So someone is responding. So in the module value, Amma, in the given problem, module value is not mentioned here. Right? So you can calculate your module value. Based on power, okay, based on Lewis equation, okay, each and every answer is right. Okay, fine, very good. Very good, very good, very good. Very good. Okay. Now, very good. Now, before you can calculate your module value, first you try to calculate your pitch line velocity. First try to calculate pitch line velocity. Why I am asking for pitch line velocity means you are having relation. You are having a relation. So those relation you will observe by proceeding after having your calculation. Right. First you calculate pitch line velocity. What is the formula for pitch line velocity? Pi dp and p by 60. You please observe that again and again. I'm repeating that pitch line velocity is always calculated for pinion. So whenever you are having a pinion means diameter of the pinion only you are having observed. Pitch line velocity is observed for pinion speed only. Pinion speed. Right. Now calculate pitch line velocity v value. Pitch line velocity v value calculate and the value is 0.236 m in terms of m because m value is unknown. You please observe that pitch circle diameter is not calculated. Pitch circle diameter formula is m into tp. M into tp, right? So you know the only tp value and m value is unknown. So please remain m value as it is, no problem. You please remain your m value as it is, there is no problem. Now calculate your v value. V value is 236 mm per second or 0.236 into m. Your m value remain as easily because m value is unknown. 0.236 m. into in meter per second. The units are in meter per second. Right? Right. Very good. Now, so here you are having a one doubt, Amma. Here you are having, please pay attention before we proceeding further calculation. Here you are having a doubt because you are having a velocity value. Normally, the velocity value is used for calculating the velocity factor CV. In your design procedure, you are having various CV values. 3 by 3 plus V, 6 by 6 plus P, 7.5 by 7.5 plus root V. Likewise, you are having different CV values. Likewise, you are having different CV values. Right. But in this case, pitch and velocity is unknown. Right. Because once if you know the M value, then only you came to know what is the pitch and velocity. Right. Then how do you select your CV value? That is another important question here. So normally you are based on your pitch line velocity only. If your pitch line velocity is 10 meter per second or 20 meter per second, based on that only you select CV value, right? That is your actual procedure. But here your V value is in terms of M. Then how do you judge that your M, your CV value? That is a very, very important question to be discussed. Very, very important point to be discussed. Right? Without knowing the information, how do you select your CV value? Whether it may be 3 by 3 plus V, 6 by 6 plus V, or 7.5 by 7.5 plus root V. So that is the question you may have while you are solving especially. Right. So normally we can select 3 by 3 plus V. So because early students are already they came across all those things so that they can easily get the answer. Okay, fine. At least they responded. Very fine. The answer is correct, Amma. Normally, you can consider 3 by 3 plus V value. If at all, now you can change your C value after having, if there is any variation, Amma, you can change, no problem, at the middle of your design. But initially you can select 3 by 3 plus value if your values are unknown. Likewise, like this problem. But actually, in this problem, the CV value is mentioned. In this problem, the CV value is mentioned 3 by 3 plus V. But I am discussing in general. Every time it is not a rule to mention your CV value. In this problem, they provided your CV value as 3 by 3 plus V. But sometimes they fail to give this value 3 by 3 plus V. If that is the case, then you choose 3 by 3 plus V value. So I hope you get this point, Amma. There will be a chance you are having a question like this only, definitely. Every time you are not having provided each and every data, right? Every time it is not possible to provide the data. Even on that particular situation also, you're supposed to solve the problem. It's your duty to solve the problem. And it's your duty to identify what type of a CV value is suitable. What kind of a CV value is suitable for this particular relation. That is also your duty only. Not examiner duty, right? Right. So that is a fundamental answer, Amma. So you can select CV value equal to 3 by 3 plus V if at all if you're having this kind of a situation. Okay, even though you can select different value, Amma, no problem. It is not a rule to select only 3 by 3 plus V. You can select 6 by 6 plus V. But if at all if you are having any, your velocity value will change, then automatically you have to change your value. So that is the reason why I use it to prefer only 3 by 3 plus V. But it is not a hard rule for selecting of 3 by 3 plus V every time. Okay, right, fine. So here in this case, you are not having any worry. So you can select 3 by 3 plus V blindly, no problem. 3 by 3 plus V blindly you can select. Okay, Namma? Right, fine. Now next. So I already told you that you are having service factor value. Service factor value is always you can select 1. In the value is ranging from 1 to 2. Normally the value will be varying from 1 to 2. And for study loading conditions, you will observe in your data book. In your data book for study loading conditions, CS value equal to 1. You please observe in your data book and CS value equal to 1. Now, so some of you are asking that, sir, what kind of, edition of data book. So what kind of edition you are supposed to select? Normally prefer new edition. See, obviously new edition means there is some modification, so that always you prefer new edition. If at all, if it is not available, so that you can prefer a previous edition of the new edition. Suppose you are having 7th edition is the new edition, so that you can select 6th edition or 5th edition, no problem. There is no problem. There is no issue also. Okay. So new edition means after identifying if there is any problems, if there is any problem, they will rectify in new edition. That is the only thing they will do. New edition means only the flaws can be rectified. The flaws can be rectified in new edition. That is the only thing. Right? There is no issue. You can purchase your book previous editions also, but not an older edition. Amma, you please observe that. So suppose if it is a 7th edition, you please go for 5th edition or 6th edition. So author, I already told you that number of times, right? Jalaluddin is the author. Normally you can prefer Jalaluddin or PSG publication. PSG. PSG. So these are the two specified as per your what we call JNTU specified Jalaluddin or PSG publications. But as per your convenience, these are the two stand books. Amma. But as per your convenience, you can select your own textbook. No problem. Which is understandable for you. That is the important point. So don't go for any foreign others which is not understandable. So suppose I already downloaded from McGraw-Hill textbook. So if you follow the McGraw-Hill textbook, everything is hard to understand. Everything is hard to understand, right? So with simple terminology and the equations that are available, what we discussed here. So before purchasing, you please verify all those things. Then it is easy for you. No problem. Bandari is a fine textbook, no problem. So the only problem in Bandari is more simplified equations are given in your Bandari, so that you may have some not difficulty, but understanding is very, very important. They get simplified answer, they simplified relations they will provide, right? If at all, if you are not observing those relations, then definitely it will having some problem while identifying your answers, right? Suppose if you are following only Bandari textbook, suppose if you are following only Bandari textbook for equation, then you can data book also you can purchase Bandari, no problem. It is fine. It is fine, right? Because already you are aware of the equation, so that it is easy for you to follow the particular textbook also, particular data book also, right? Likewise, according to normally most of the textbooks are following R.S. Kurmi and Bandari only. These are the only textbooks, right? More simplified manner, it is the R.S. Kurmi is the more simplified manner, because it is easy for you to understand in examination point of view. Okay, so that we prefer only R.S. Kurmi and Bandari, right? So based on those textbooks, based on your understanding levels, you can choose. Okay, fine. So now we calculate tangential or WT value. WT value will be given as P by V into CS. P by V into CS. Service factor value is 1 and the CV value equal 3 by 3 plus V. Now you can calculate also power value. Power value also you can calculate based on your relation, right? So what is your relation? So first we calculate this value, then we'll move on to the next one. No problem. So power value is here directly given. No need to calculate. Power value is directly mentioned 20 kilowatts. Again, no need to calculate. So here WT equal to P by V into CS. So P value is known and V value is also known in terms of M, and CS value is also known in terms of your given data book. CS value as 1. So especially for finding of the CS value, normally you select one value, 1 to 2 value. So there is no issue. If at all, if you are having any difficulty in identifying those values. CS means service factor. So any type of loading condition, the value will vary from 1 to 2 only. If it is study loading or working hours, based on working hours also, the value will be only varying from 1 to 2. Right? So there is no problem. If at all, if you're finding any difficult, identifying value in your data book, then directly blindly you can consider CS value as 1. No problem. Here, the purpose is your design is safe or not. That is the only thing you have to observe. So I already given some conclusions in your previous classes, right? Which one is the largest one? Comparing that of your other loading conditions. So based on that only you have to design. If at all you are satisfying those results, whatever the answers it is, your entire design procedure is correct. No problem. Because each and every person take different values. So your answer will vary, but the procedure must be same. Fine. So now calculate your WT value. So WT value will be in terms of M, 84746 by M. 84746 by M. Right? 84746 by M newtons WT value. Once if you know the WT value, then in the given problem, they specifically mention that use the standard equation, standard strength equation or Lewis equation or beam strength equation. Each and every is the similar terms. You please observe that Lewis equation, beam strength equation, standard equation, all these are basic equation. All these are the equations which relates with your beam strength only. Okay. Right. Now you try to observe, apply this beam strength equation. WT value equal to sigma into B into pi into M into YP. Sigma value equal to sigma naught into P. YP, pinion is the weakest part. Sigma naught into P into CV. And Y means YP. So in the beam strength equation especially, in place of Y, always write the weakest part. Y means Lewis form factor. Here the weakest part is pinion. So Lewis form factor for pinion YP. To calculate M value. By substituting the above relations, calculate M value and please check your M value is correct or wrong. And one more thing, M value here is 6.4, but here they will consider the M value, 8 value. Why it is 8 value means there are standard values and standard relations are available in your data book. So if at all if the range is 6.5, 6.8, then you can collect 8 value. If at all if it is 7 or 8, then you can collect 10 value. So there is a table that is available in your data book. Based on those table only they will consider. Standard module value table is available in your data book. So even though if at all if there is any chance of forgetting, that means some of you are definitely in the examination due to various reasons they will not identify or they will not recollect how to select the M value. If that is the case, then no problem. Then you can consider the M value as round figure as 7 mm because 8 mm is the standard module value. 8 mm is the standard module value. If at all if you are failed to forget or due to various reasons, definitely if they're unable to answer this point, definitely will round off those values and make it as 7, no problem. There is no issue. There is no issue. But thing is, whenever you are having a data book is available, so that each and everything is available in your data book, so that it is your duty to remember all those things and put your values accordingly. It's your duty. So all these logics are available only in your Andhra University because they are not having any data book, so that they will accept. They will accept. But as far as your JITU, because data book is provided, so it is your duty to mention the standard values accurately by referring of your data book. There is no excuses, especially if at all if you fail to represent the exact values. Definitely there is no excuse, Amma. No excuse. Next, after having M value, and the next point is you can calculate phase width value. Phase width value is 14 times module. Phase width value is 14 times module. So already you know the M value. Please substitute in the given equation. B equal to 14M. B equal to 14M. right? So B equal to 14 m. So you know the value of 12 mm. So is there any other parameter you are required? So let me see the remaining things. Right. So next thing is you calculate pitch circle diameter. Pitch circle diameter for pinion and pitch circle diameter for gear. So already know the formula. dP equal to m into TP and dg equal to m into tg. This is the only formula you are having. dP equal to m into TP and dg equal to m into tg. dP equal to m into TP and dg equal to m into tg. dP equal to m into TP and dg equal to m into tg. Then you will get the answer. So diameter of the pinion and diameter of the gear. If at all they are asked for center distance, then you have to apply the center distance formula. If at all they are asked for circular pitch, then you can go for circular pitch formula. If they are supposed to ask for addendum, then you can go for addendum formula. If at all they are asked for dedendum, then you can go for dedendum formula. So according to the formula, you have to substitute for parameters, not for strength parameter. I'm dealing. I'm meaning of not for strength amma. I'm mentioning for only parameters point of view. You're having various definitions: addendum, dedendum, module, pitch circle, right? Tooth thickness or circular pitch, center distances. Likewise, you're having different parameters. Each and every different parameters having different formulas, right? If at all they are asked in the examination, you have to substitute. There is no other option. Normally, they are asked for module, phase width, pitch circle diameter, pitch circle diameter for pinion, pitch circle diameter of the gear, center distances. Only these 5 parameters, circular pitch. Normally, they are asked for only these 6 parameters only. So if there is any, if at all they are asked for in deeply, then definitely they will go for remaining parameters also. Right? So this is what somewhat till now only we discuss about only beam strength, up to beam strength value. We are not calculated any VS strength value or any what we call tooth load. I mean dynamic loading condition and VL loading condition. So in the next class, based on that particular problem, that means entire design procedure. Till now, in the given data only, they use it to ask you, please find that module value or phase width value or some other parameters. Right now, in the coming class, we try to design one particular gear from starting point to end point. Right. So if at all, if you are able to design the particular gear, then each and everything is under your control. And then you can easily calculate any problem. Right. So please try to practice try to practice your problem based on your relations, because relations are available. Please be practiced. Right. If at all if you're practicing, then only you're having a doubts. So some of they are asked doubts, but because of my busy schedule, I am unable to answer those questions. But Monday's class, definitely I will provide the answer those who ask me for the questions, especially because tomorrow is a Sunday, so that definitely I provide answers those who are asked questions for me especially. Okay, right. So I hope you understand this particular problem. So I hope you understand this particular problem. So if there is any doubt, you please verify your doubts and practice, and please ask your doubts whenever you came to class. Right? Please post your questions on your chat box. So definitely I will collect those questions and definitely I will provide solutions. Okay. Right. Okay, Amma. So thanks, Amma. Thank you for your presence and thanks for your response also. Right. Thank you.